the saga of the eBay Jibbitz continues. So if you hadn't been following along on any of my videos, and why would you have, I'll catch you up on the story. So Saturday, I received an order at 12:30-ish for a set of Crocs charms called Jibbitz. The buyer wanted me to mail it as soon as possible because she needed them for her. I thought it was her son's birthday. Turns out it's her grandson. And that was on the 14th, and she wanted to make sure that she had them before the party. I responded to her request telling her that I could not guarantee that they would arrive and that she should get back to me within the next 2 hours because that's when the post office closes. When I didn't hear from her, I decided I don't want to risk this child having an unhappy birthday, so I went ahead and mailed the package to her. So then shortly thereafter, she was asking me about delivery dates. I told her the range could possibly be as late as the 17th, and then she said she wanted to cancel the order, which of course is impossible because the package is already in the mail on the way to her home. So basically, she's been writing me many long. I'm going to just quickly show you the length of these messages, but I'm not going to really read them because we'll be here all night. But here, just take a look. This just goes on and on and on. Many messages about Jibbitz. So they're only $14, $13.99. This isn't a make or break deal, but in the end, she has already told me she's been in contact with what she keeps calling Etsy, even though we are selling on eBay. I am not selling on Etsy. And she has continually said, I've been in contact with Etsy, I've been in contact with the USPS. You would think that this was a $130 sale, not a $13.99 sale. So in the end, she's probably going to refuse the package, and it will be returned to me, hopefully at no extra cost, because the time that I have put into reading her messages is already enough. I don't want to also lose money on this transaction. I will definitely lose money. I've already paid to ship it to her. I will have to refund that money, and almost certainly I'll have to refund that money. So there's $4 or $5 I'm going to lose. None of this is a big deal. I'm trying my best to keep my cool when I speak to her, remain professional, and let her know this is the story, this is how it's going to go. I don't have any control over what the post office does. Also, please remember this is a $13 item. So last night I sent her one message, and then I did get a little rude at the end where I said, this can be the last message. I do not require any more conversation with you. And then, of course, she sent me another multiple paragraph long message. So hopefully there'll be one more update on this. There may be one more update on this when the package returns. Hopefully it will just come return to sender. It won't cost anybody any money except for the USPS, I guess. And I will refund her money, and then we'll move on with this. In the end, I'm going to lose $4.50. I'll relist these shoe charms and hopefully sell them again soon. For now, I have 3 orders today, which is a pretty small amount of sales for one day, but I'm going to get them packed up and ready to go, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, so it's 9:30 now. I don't really want to spend a lot of time getting these packages together, so let's get moving on them. We have 3 orders to fulfill. 2 of them are insignificant, one of them is a little bit bigger. None of them are really that exciting, but we'll just go ahead, get them picked, get them packaged, and get them ready for shipping. And as we go along, I'll tell you exactly how much money we're going to make on each of these items, and then the total for today's sales, which isn't going to be anything to write home about, but sale's a sale. We'll do okay. Right now, I'm going to Cube 1A, I think. This little bitty guy, little bitty horse. Then we'll go to a box in here, hat box. Let's see what we can find in here. Right on top. Good, perfect. Let's get these 2. We'll get these 2 packaged, and then we'll find the third order, which is a little bit heftier. And it's gonna weigh a little bit. It's gonna weigh a little bit, so we want to make sure to, I want to get this counter cleared off before I try to package this next order. So this is a Swedish Dala horse. This is a very small one. I always look for these at garage sales and thrift stores, mostly just because I like them. My mother collected these, and they're all over her house, and I really never thought about them being valuable, but some of them have a sticker on the bottom, and it has a maker's name, and if you have that, they could be worth a little bit. Like this one is very small, it's not worth much at all. I paid $3.76 for it, and I sold it for $14.39. So it's not a huge sale for me, but I like them. There are some things that I buy just because I want to have them in my shop, even though they're not going to be a big source of income for me. I guess it's doing business with your heart is not the best idea, but sometimes you gotta do something that you just enjoy. You know, it's much more fun selling things that you like than it is selling things that are just money makers that you don't care about at all. So yeah, this one, I got this one and a little bit larger one at a local thrift store that's associated with a nursing home or a retirement home. I'm not sure exactly what it is. And I saw them, I was picking them up, and then somebody came over and said, oh, I was just coming over here to look at those. I was going to buy those. And I was like, well, you know, I'm sorry. I have them already. And then I told her about that my mother was a collector and that they meant something to me because of that. And she was like, oh, well, I'm glad somebody who really wants them is going to get them. So I'm not sure what her story was, but she was friendly and nice about it. So. I only sold a couple others, and mostly they're horses. You know, that's the most well-known ones. There's also, then probably the next popular one is roosters. Then the one that I sold, which I never even saw one before, was a pig. It was a blue pig with the traditional flowery red and white decoration on it. I don't remember what it sold for. Maybe $30 or $40. It was a little bit bigger than that, than this little guy. This is, I don't know. I have seen some very tiny ones that are sort of novelties, really. But this is one of the smaller ones I've seen. Dala horse only weighs 4 ounces. 6 by 5 by 5. This is going to a buyer in Minnesota. There is a big Swedish population in this area, so maybe this last name does seem like it could potentially be Swedish. LR. I put the initial LR on there so I can match up the shipping label to the proper box when I'm done with all of the printing of the labels. Okay, this is a Rocky and Bullwinkle from the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. They must have had a promotion at Taco Bell. It says 1993 Taco Bell Corporation. So I imagine the staff at Taco Bell had to wear these hats during the time when this movie was out. I don't think this probably helped the movie that much because I don't think that movie was a big success. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in a bubble mailer. Probably should do a little bit nicer with it, but I'm not that worried about it. It only sold for about $9. I have all of my hats. Oh, this one has a cut in it. I might just throw this away now. I have all my hats right now. I was running a 20% off sale for 2 weeks. I sold 3 hats. Three better value hats, I guess, because those 3 hats earned about $160. And then that sale ended last night at midnight, and I started immediately a 25% off coupon for hats. So I want to compare, you know, it's a little bit of a experiment to see does a sale event on eBay do better than a coupon on eBay. So that coupon's only been live since about 1 a.m. last night, and this hat sold already based on that coupon. So I don't know if that means the coupon is going to work or not, but I do want to move some hats. So if you're interested in checking out my shop and looking for hats, 25% off right now. Any hat in my shop. So, there might be a few that have been listed more recently that are not part of that sale, part of that coupon. But I think it's about 63, 65 hats for sale. Some of them are very good. Some good quality hats there. This one, just gonna write hat. Only 2 ounces. And it measures 12 by 9 by 1. This hat is going to MF in Oklahoma. I guess he's either a Taco Bell fan or a Rocky and Bullwinkle fan, or maybe both. Okay, get this out of the way. I'm going to move all these out of the way and then go find this third sale, which I don't really remember where I have this stored. LR4B, which is, that doesn't seem right. Oh yeah, there they are. It's going to be relatively heavy. This will clear off a pretty good amount of space on that shelf there, which is getting pretty packed. Okay, so these are keyboard, like basically church organ music books. They are, I'm not sure how old they are, not that old really. You know, there's something that would have been used a lot, so they do have quite a bit of wear on them. You can see where somebody's thumb flipped through all of these pages. And I let these go for a pretty low price. I have seen similar ones sell for around $450. I think the buyers for them are few and far between, especially at that price. So I don't even remember for sure what I had them listed at, maybe 120. Somebody sent me an offer today for 70, and I went ahead and accepted it because I'm ready to get them out of here. I think I have a few more similar, at least a couple more similar. This company, I don't know if it's GIA or GIA, is a local. It's pretty close to here. It's based out of, I think it's based out of Des Plaines. I live here in Chicago. So I've seen, not these binders. These came from a church that was decommissioned, and they were getting ready to tear it down, selling everything inside of there. So I got a few of these kind of books. I brought some home like this, and then I knew there were a lot more, but they were on the 3rd floor, and they're heavy. I didn't want to have to carry them all the way down the stairs, and I wasn't really sure about their value. So I brought a set of these home from that estate sale, and once I started looking them up, seeing, oh yeah, this could go for $400 or, you know, $350, $450 in that range, I went back and bought everything else they had. I've sold several of them for pretty good prices. I can't remember exactly what I sold them all for, but there was one set I sold, and the buyer bought it, and you know, these are well used, and sometimes the pages have been removed and put in different order. This is just a ring binder, so maybe they put their most popular songs at the front, so they wouldn't have to be hunting through the box trying to find them every time. So there's the one other ones I sold was a set of three binders like this. I mean, this is thousands of pages. I didn't want to go through and try to determine if they were in the right order or not, or try to reorder these pages, or anything like that. So I sold them with a disclaimer that the pages are out of order and they may be incomplete. I'm not really sure if they were incomplete. And I probably shouldn't have put that. I probably shouldn't have wrote that in the listing, because then that kind of opened me up to a buyer who could say, I received it and it's incomplete, because they already know that I'm not sure if it's incomplete or not. So that's exactly what happened. The buyer who bought it contacted me and said there are hundreds of pages missing from this book. Now, if he had said there are 20 pages missing, or there are 10 pages missing, or 20 or 30 or 40 even, I might have said, oh, I'm sorry, what can I do to make this better? But for him to say there are hundreds of pages missing, you can only fit so many pages in these binders, and the ones I sent did not look like there were hundreds of pages missing. So I responded to that message by basically saying, the listing did say that these books may or may not be complete, and he immediately said, okay, yeah, you're right. And I don't know that he was happy, but he accepted that as an explanation and did not try to file an item not as received or ask for a refund or anything. He did try, however, to make me feel guilty by saying that he volunteered to play the organ at a very low budget church, a church that didn't have a lot of money to go around. And so he was going to buy these books on his own dime, and that if I felt like it, I could give him some of his money back so that he wouldn't have had to spend all this money. I think it was probably $300 or $400. So he didn't want to have to spend that money himself. He basically wanted me to donate the books to him after he had already paid me for them. They already were shipped and already received. And I don't know, if you know me, that's not a good tactic to ask me to donate money to a church. It's not something I'm interested in. So I did not give him any of his money back. He didn't have any more complaints about it. But then he did this was probably 2 or 3 months ago, he purchased this set. And just last night, he left feedback for me, which was positive feedback on eBay, and it said that he tried to reach out to me to tell me that there were pages missing and that I ignored all of his messages, which is, the first part may be true, probably not true. The second part, definitely not true. I had not many, but at least 3 or 4 back and forths with him about these books. So I'm not sure what he was trying to do by leaving that message. It was still positive feedback, so that's all that really matters to me. Okay, these are Gather. This weighs a lot, so let's see. Less than I thought, 16 pounds, 15 ounces. So we're under the 17 mark, so that's good. 13 by 13 by, these boxes are 12 by 12 by 12 on the inside, so I always call them 13 by 13. I'll say by 8. And where did I put my phone? Here it is. This is going to a buyer in New York with this initials JC. Okay, let's get these labels printed and get finished up here. So as we purchase the labels, I will put the cost of the shipping label right into my spreadsheet so we can see total profits on each of these items that we're making tonight. Okay, we'll start with this. 16 pounds, 15 ounces. So good thing we're under that. 13 or 17 because I only charged 16 pounds. 13 by 13 by 8. This right now says medium male. I'm going to check out. Ground Advantage is much cheaper. Medium male on this, you know, everybody thinks medium male is the cheapest. In this case, medium male is $16.63 and the Ground Advantage is only $9.84. So that's $7 difference. And the Ground Advantage is a better shipping service that has a better shipping time, a guaranteed shipping time of a certain number of days, and also comes with $100 worth of postal insurance. So we're definitely going to choose the Ground Advantage here. We'll go back to the spreadsheet and we'll add this in. So I paid $6.34, I've estimated, on those books, and he paid $70, $16 in shipping. At the end, we've made $57.38 total profit on that set of books. So I probably could have let them run a little longer, got 150 to 300 on them, but you know, they're out of my hair now. Somebody's going to get them and be happy, so we'll just chalk that up to the positive. Okay, 2 ounces on this hat, 12 by 9 by 1. I probably could have packed this a little nicer, but I don't know. Chose not to. $4.14. This is going to go here. This hat came from the garage sale where I bought a huge lot of hats. And the amount I paid the guy was $50, and there were, I don't know, many hundreds of hats in there. So I've estimated 36 cents as cost of goods. I sold it for $9.64. After fees and everything, that hat has earned us $9.56. We'll do this dollar horse. I don't know, when I see them, I consider keeping them. They are good reminders of my mom. 6 by 5 by 5. So this is only $4.08 because it's going only to Minnesota. So that little horse earned $10.59. So this isn't a huge sales day. Seems like we're in sort of heading towards the mid-month. Maybe it's a mid-month slowdown of some kind, because this month started out very strong and it has slowed down over the last few days. So today we earned $77.53. My hope is to earn at least $100 a day average. So far this month we're at $140.70 average. So these bad days drop that average down, but it's not the end of the world. I like it to stay over 100. Maybe next year I'll be shooting for 150, who knows? But for this year, we'll say 100 a day. I'm going to review this purchase. We're only spending $18 on shipping today, and we will print these labels, get them on the packages, and go to bed. It's going to be after 10 by the time we're done here. I didn't get anything listed today. I didn't do any listings. I didn't do any photo shoots. I didn't do anything. I just came home and I was tired. We had a long day yesterday and a long day of work today. So just getting these ready to go before I go to bed is about all I had in me tonight. LR. So thank you to LR, thank you to MF, and thank you to JC for these purchases. It means a lot to me. Check out my eBay shop if you're interested in purchasing anything. If not, maybe you'll subscribe to my channel to see more packing videos and other things. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll probably see you tomorrow night. Goodbye.